Right, so we are back again looking at the Borderlands 4 skill trees and making a little bit of a theory craft around them. Something that you might want to, lean into a little bit or not. Completely up to you. But for me, I think if I'm going for Rafa this time round, we're going to go melee. These arc knives are looking pretty tasty. But yeah, let's just get right into it. So first off, first 5 points. Let me just zoom in. We're going to go handshake deal. We're going to go 5 out of 5. Increased gun damage, which I guess, yeah, is what it is. But the increased melee damage as well, which is absolutely lovely. It's 35% with all 5 points put into it. Then after that, we're going to move on down to dial in. Whenever Rafa damages an enemy with a melee attack, his melee attacks gain crit hit chance. This chance stacks, and all stacks are removed whenever he critically hits an enemy. So it's 3% per stack, and it doesn't look like there's a max stack. But 5 out of 5 should put that to 15% per hit with the melee, which I feel like is quite high anyways within a set amount of time. After a few hits, you're going to guarantee to crit quite frequently. Then for our augment, we're going to take Altered Cabron. So we're going to slot that, which is whenever Rafa kills an enemy while Arc Knives is active, restore a portion of his max health capacity. And whenever Rafa gains health, deal bonus corrosive damage with all attacks and gain increased movement speed. This effect stacks. So we can stack up to 25 stacks, and its bonus corrosive damage is 15% per stack and 10% movement speed. You are going to be lightning fast with this setup using this augment. That's the main reason we picked it up. Plus, we are kind of pushing a lot for corrosive damage in this build. Originally, when I looked at the tree, I wasn't going to, but there's a lot of good points to be put for corrosive damage here. So yeah, we're taking Altered Cabron. Then we're moving down to Saldar, which is Rafa's melee critical hits gain lifesteal, and if you pair that with Dial In, it's 15% per hit on an enemy once it's stacked up. Oh no, 15% base, and then obviously it keeps stacking until it hits a crit. So we're getting 25% lifesteal on our melee whilst we're using the arc knives. So perfect. Really good sustain for your health. Then moving further down, we're going to Blowout, 5 out of 5. Whenever Rafa applies a heavy arms mark, which I believe is it can arm enemies. I'm not really sure what heavy arms mark is, but I'm assuming it's a mark. Or critically hits an enemy with his action skill, which we'll be doing quite a lot, as I've just said previously. They explode into a corrosive lobbed projectiles. The longer Rafa's action skill has been active, the more corrosive projectiles are spawned. The overall idea for picking this up and a few of the others skills is I want to keep action skill time up like at all times, and the longer it's been up, the more damage we're going to deal in the long run, the more we're just healing, and we can constantly just keep that melee uptime consistently across the board. And then we're going to take, I'm not even going to say that, this one here. Rafa gains increased splash damage and increased splash damage crit hit chance. I believe these are going to be, the projectiles are going to be splash damage and another skill with you as well, so we're just going to take this one. This might be slottable out depending on how much of the build is actually going to be splash damage. So we're only taking the two skills from the left side branch, and then we're moving over to the right side branch, which is Rafa deals increased corrosive damage with his action skill is active. The longer it has been active, the greater the bonus. So per second it's 1%, so it's going to be 5% per second that the action skill has been active. Realistically, our uptime is going to be quite heavy. Obviously, we'll have to see when we're actually in game, but I feel like the uptime for this is going to be very high. And another one I'm not going to be able to say. On the right side, we're going to take Rafa gains increased action skill duration, so we're getting a 35% increased duration again, which stacks perfectly with this. And then further down, we're taking Cruel Accural. So Rafa gains increased skill damage of all skills. The longer his action skill has been active, the greater. Rafa gains increased skill damage of all skills. The longer his action skill has been active, the greater the bonus. So it's 2 per second. So we're getting 10 per second, 10% increased skill damage, so your action skill is getting 10% per second that it's being active. If we can keep it for at least 10 seconds, the damage should be crazy. And then the capstone we are taking is Galvanic Panic. Whenever Rafa performs a melee attack while Arc Knives is active, fire an acid, STRM, glider at an enemy in his view. They deal corrosive splash damage, which stacks with the splash damage we picked up earlier, based on the number of total marked enemies. Additionally, killing an enemy while Arc Knives is active restores action skill duration, which this is where we keep our sustain. Our sustain should be really, really high if we just keep hitting marked enemies, keep killing enemies, and it's going to be a very Beyblade-y type of build, bouncing between every single enemy, getting those enemies marked, clearing them out, getting everything to proc on the corrosive damage. It's going to be a very, very fast kind of gameplay loop with this build, I think. Obviously we'll have to see in game, but and then after that we have 9 points left available, and I could have brought these onto another skill tree, but after looking at them, nothing's really benefiting us from the other trees, and we'd have to probably spec into them a bit more to actually gain some more like actual good passives. So instead we stuck with the same tree, all on one tree this time around. Taking Expedite for the increased movement speed, that'll just help us, that's 25%. That should give us a nice bonus for, like I said, we want to bounce around from different enemies. Movement speed is just, it's a no-brainer, I guess. And then we'll go in Midnight Oil, which is Rafa's action skills deal bonus corrosive damage. The longer the skill has been active, the greater the bonus damage. So again, that's 2% per point. So put 4 points, 8% per second of bonus damage. If you want, you can swap these out for Expedite and Midnight Oil, but for now I've just left it on this. Once we get to testing and once we're in game, it's a bit different. But that should be every point spent. So we've got 5, 5, 5, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 49, with one augment slot there and the capstone right at the bottom here. Kind of might do another Rafa build in the next couple of days. Laying these trees out are a bit of a pain in the ass, because if you've ever used paint before, I don't know what it's like for you guys, but it closes so fucking often. So it's been a little bit annoying to lay these out. But yeah, anyways, I'm gonna probably look at maybe a gun damage, kind of like a run and gun kind of play style as well for Rafa, and see what else I can get out for him. But apart from that, that's it for the video. I hope you enjoyed. Keep it in mind for when the game launches, and I'll be making more videos at least once or twice a week. So enjoy your day. Thanks.